The aSTEAM Village Digital Health Service Hub is designed as a secure internet-based environment through which you may receive certain confidential medical information about yourself released at the discretion of your physician. To use the site, it is important that you read and agree to the terms and conditions. Click the Terms and Conditions button below to access the form. to our immersive learning platform, you will learn about digital media and STEAM programs. Click the Continue button for the character selection screen and then pick your character and then the Select button to enter the platform. Click and hold the center circle of the joystick and drag it to move your character. Use the top bar to go to specific areas in the platform.
Hi, can you tell me and introduce everybody about William Wells, Executive Director and founder of aSTEAM Village, and give us a little information about what aSTEAM Village does for youth and adults in Kansas City?
Sure thing. I'd be happy to share. William Wells is the Executive Director and founder of aSTEAM Village. He's a visionary leader who recognized the need for a program that integrates the arts with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to better prepare students for the future. aSTEAM Village is all about blending creativity with technical skills, offering hands-on learning experiences that inspire young people to become innovators. The program focuses on reaching underrepresented students and providing them with the opportunities and encouragement they need to pursue careers in STEM. It's a fantastic initiative that's making a real difference in our community.
Thank you for that information. Can you give me information about the Kansas City Tomorrow Alumni Association? I am supposed to speak to them today, and I heard they're an amazing organization.
Of course. The Kansas City Tomorrow Alumni Association is a network of graduates from the Kansas City Tomorrow Leadership Program. This program was designed to identify and develop community leaders who can drive positive change in the Kansas City area. Alumni of this program often go on to take significant roles in various sectors, including business, nonprofits, and government. The association helps maintain connections among these leaders, fostering collaboration and continued development to keep improving the community. It's a great way to stay involved and contribute to the ongoing growth and betterment of Kansas City.
Awesome. One last thing. We're launching a digital health service hub initiative with one of the alumni of the last cohort of the Kansas City Tomorrow Alumni Association. As a demonstration, can you give me some information on hypertension?
That sounds fantastic. Launching a digital health service hub is a brilliant idea, especially with the expertise and network that the Kansas City Tomorrow Alumni Association can bring to the table. It's great to see initiatives like this that aim to improve community health through technology. If there's anything specific you'd like to discuss, or if you need any support, feel free to let me know. I'm excited to see how this project develops.
The aSTEAM Village Digital Health Service Hub is designed as a secure internet-based environment through which you may receive certain confidential medical information about yourself released at the discretion of your physician. To use the site, it is important that you read and agree to the terms and conditions. Click the Terms and Conditions button below to access the form.
As do I, which is to see the students' presentation. But what I wanted to do is to tell you this is the final presentation of a series of 4 workshops where we tried to produce 4-dimensional wins for adults, youth, and family residents, senior citizens, businesses, developers, and property owners around the 8 points of the cube. This is an Envision Center, Kansas City, Missouri initiative. Everybody's getting ready for the $1.9 trillion infrastructure bill. Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas, we're focusing on Kansas City, Missouri, because you're an Envision Center city, which is upheld by these other federal partners, EPA, Department of Commerce, Health and Human Services, Department of Treasury, USDA, Department of Labor, Department of Education, and AmeriCorps. You're uniquely positioned to be able to get access to resources that can help bring Truce, Paseo, Prospect, rural communities into the economy. So I mentioned all of the current federal partners. I'll make this slide available, but I wanted to talk about the scope, the system design of our community benefit agreement that benefits the community. That's the whole reason why we did this virtual community action planning that we affectionately call VCAP, that was created by Michael Rendler, who you'll hear from in a second. The scope of the focus was human capital, investment in human capital as opposed to investment in lots and buildings, expanding who participates in the local economy, knowing that we're in a knowledge and information-based economy, and all of our people, young people, seniors, they all have brains. So they can participate in a knowledge and information-based economy, as long as we have the will to make sure that they're able to do so. Return on investment in human capital, informed community that owns their data, data-driven decision-making, community-owned narrative, and access to utilization of the Envision Center designation of the city of Kansas City, Missouri. We targeted a certain area, 9th Street, Truce, Indiana, East 27th Street. We looked at the $3.1 billion in new development downtown and the 4-to-1, 20-to-1 return on investment. And we asked, well, if there was 1% of that $3.1 billion was given to education, workforce, preventive healthcare as an investment, not give, as an investment, what kind of returns could we generate in the Paseo Gateway, Truce, Prospect, and Paseo corridors? How can we make these areas be as prosperous as downtown, the Crossroads, Hyde Park, the River Market area? Could $93 million benefit the community? And if so, we ask how. So that takes me to digital transformation. One thing that is for certain, this book by Thomas Siebel lays it out, that government, education, businesses, we all have to digitally transform how we do things. And I put these Robert Gates here, digital transformation should alarm every CEO and government leader about the simultaneous arrival of an existential technological threat, and what I'm looking at as a historic opportunity. It is a must read for every leader in business and government. These young people are going to show you why this is so important, and they're going to show you the huge opportunity that this city has. Digital transformation of economic development, community engagement, education, and governance. Machines costing jobs is a myth. We have to reconceptualize education and provide more flexible and agile workforce training programs that match the skills of the digital economy. We need to invest in education and basic research. We need to invest in the human capital in education and basic research. We need to address the mismatch between supply and demand for digital skills, training people not only in technical skills like coding, but also in skills that will increasingly be needed in the digital age to complement the work of machines, creativity, teamwork, and problem solving. That is the new economy. That new economy is the opportunity for us to generate some wealth in areas that normally wouldn't have an economy. Digital transformation will see robotics and artificial intelligence systems not only used to replace human tasks, but also to augment their skills. For example, a surgeon working with advanced robotic systems to perform operations which will present a challenge to businesses who will need to reskill their workforce to work with new technology. Everybody is at the same place, and being at the same place, there's an opportunity for everybody. Reed, I see you. I'm going to get you up to the panelists in just a second. Just bear with me. The opportunity for the youth in the urban and rural communities across America who will have to compete with youth from other parts of the world, many of them who live in third world countries. The point is anyone and everyone can participate in this digital economy. But we can't do things the way we've been doing them. We have to be that man that goes down the road less traveled. We have to reimagine our world. We have to understand and invest in people. People make the impossible possible. And our world is better, our economy is better, and our country is stronger when everyone participates. So what do we mean when we say human capital? 21st century workspace labeled the smart citizen, the process and expectations of our cohorts as a virtual learning community will be headquartered throughout Kansas City, Missouri's 3rd District. The premise of Project Smart Citizen is to operate transparently and inclusive of the community. A mechanism must be embedded to show inclusion and participation, which will require 21st century approach to governance, education, business, workforce development, and community development. And that's what you're going to see on display tonight. A smart city requires several smart communities made up of several smart facilities, and that requires a smart citizen approach to design, planning, build, deployment, and sustainability. Tonight, you're going to see the design, you're going to see the planning, you're going to see how they included the community in all of that, and those would manifest themselves into jobs for the build, the deployment, and the sustainability. We are looking at how we can create an economy in the 3rd District. Smart Citizen is an extension of the Smart City and Smart Building, which addresses a knowledge-based approach to decision-making for constant improvement and agile adjustment. So we don't need laborers, we need knowledge workers because we're in a knowledge and information-based economy. So wealth generation is possible through digital transformation of the community. A lot of what you're gonna hear, I anticipate, I haven't seen it, is gonna be dealing with how we can do smart digital technologies. So what is virtual community action planning? It is the intersection of education, workforce development, community development, and economic development. Our society routinely makes decisions without consulting nearly 25% of the population. We're making decisions about land use, energy production, and natural resources without the ideas and experiences of the full community. I am more than confident that after you see these kids' presentation, these young people's presentation tonight, these top 2 lines are going to have to change. There's going to be like, wow, they are a part of our solution. The car has more say over public policy than this group of young people and these senior citizens that we've engaged, and the community for that matter. So a learning community model, you're going to see this project has all been about informal education and formal education coming together, the community coming together, and we realize that the real classroom, the real learning is the actual community. How did these young people get here? 2 phases. Phase 1, we wanted to make sure they were digitally literate. So they took courses in computer fundamentals, key applications, living online. That got them their digital literacy certification. Then we had them take courses in financial literacy. Why? Because we knew we wanted to teach them how to hunt, and we knew that they were going to make money. We knew that they were going to make money for their community. They were going to start businesses, but we wanted them to understand money. So we squeezed in financial literacy in between a lot of the digital stuff that we taught them. Then we had them do project management fundamentals, and then you'll hear us talking data-driven decision-making. At the foundation of data-driven decision-making is data. And so they had to learn to master Excel so that they could work with the data in whatever shape it came. And now the second phase, we took them into the virtual community action planning. They spent time with Michael Rendler to go over what is VCAP. They learned ArcGIS. They learned geospatial information systems. They learned utility systems. They learned main building facility types. They learned how to use SketchUp, which you're going to see their talent in that tonight. They learned about natural systems. They learned about systems dynamics. They learned about group modeling. And then they took a deep dive and learned to look into the Truce Corridor, the Prospect Corridor, and 18th and Vine. Then we took the month of March and we actually went into virtual community action planning. We held 4 workshops with 4 groups, 9 questions, 3 core themes: senior citizens, families, business owners, and developers. Workshops 1 and 3, they were in their individual groups. discussing these questions, workshops 2 and 4, they came together. And that leads us up to what is building information
The goal
modeling?
of creating building information modeling in E7 Studio is to record the building as it's physically built. Building information models, or BIM, provide a spatially accurate model of the facilities that will enable the district and facilities managers a broader glimpse of what is contained inside of buildings. With BIM, we can analyze and see what's behind existing walls, and we can also obtain information on mechanical and electrical components anywhere in the building. With BIM, we can quickly access information, such as model number and size, and see how system integration is connected in the building. We can also see how central plants interconnect with buildings on the campus to form a loop that serves chilled and hot water. Part of the building information model is dedicated to record the space function inside buildings. By using open source standards such as Fusion, we can begin to classify all of the spaces in buildings, such as classrooms, laboratories, and administrative offices. These are key components inside of BIM that will allow the GIS system to quantify and account for all of the capital resources in the district.
So, almost to the end, one more video.
Now, a group of middle and high school students also see a brighter future for the 18th and Vine District.
Yeah, early this morning, Bryant Madrick takes a closer look at the vision these young people are creating and the bigger educational lesson they're learning.
18th and Vine is more than a corner. From music to baseball, it's the center of Kansas City history. But you don't have to look hard to see reminders of days long gone. While this is the present, this could be the future.
So here's the operation room.
You're looking at a digital design of an urgent care hospital in the 18th and Vine area. The creator of this vision, Liana Colbert.
Down there in 18th and Vine, they don't have like an urgent care facility like that. They only have the trauma hospital. But that's way far. That's not close to 18th and Vine.
Liana is a student with aSTEAM Village. It's a nonprofit that focuses on teaching young people about science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. She's in a group called Red Tails. The young people are on a mission to take concerns from people in the community about what's missing and create what a possible solution would look like. Fellow student Xavier Hasty showed me a few of his designs.
This one right here called the Dance Studio, and it basically allows elderly people and regular people to just have a great time and hang out.
Hasty says the project is laying the foundation for his dream of being an engineer.
How to use the SketchUp, how to use the coding, how to think like open-mindedly.
They're actually learning the process of vetting good ideas.
Those students are learning from design professionals like Michael Rendler, director of E7 Architecture Studio in Los Angeles.
This is real work going on real time right now where they're being asked to do something that takes real professional skill, and they're delivering that professional skill.
Rendler says these young people are learning more than just how to design a building.
Now you have partnerships with education, you have partnerships with your community, you have environmental science taking place, and this thinking is the future.
Yes, so Bryant Madrick joins us live in the 18th and Vine District. Bryant, I love that as much of the design stuff they're learning, the networking and partnerships they're learning is so huge. What's the next step for the project these young people are working on?
Well, ladies, the next step is for these young people to take the design, some that you just saw in our story, and actually present it to the community. They're going to have an event on May 4th where they'll present those designs to people in the community as well as city leaders. You know, the whole point of this is obviously an education for the young people, but also to spark imagination, not just for those young people, but for also people here in the city, in this area as well, just to imagine what this area could look like. And that was the whole point of this goal. One of the mentors said, look, when we start coming up with designs and a vision for the city, it's important that you leave some room at the table for these young people. Back to you.
Okay. So we've gotten through that part. And now I am going to turn it over to Michael Rendler, introduce you to Michael Rendler with E7 Studio Architecture. Michael, are you there? Can you come off mute?
Yeah, I'm here. You should be able to hear me okay.
Yep.
I think we got a few slides maybe.
Yep. There it is.
I'll let you share your screen there.
Yep. There we go.
Yes, so, you know, I think we're just going to do this pretty quickly. We only have 3 slides here. And what the point of this slide is that, you know, these are systems and how the systems connect to each other. So trying to get students to think about how one thing connects to another thing, and these create dependencies and interdependencies. And each one of these components of the VCAP have dependency on the other piece. So we use this metaphor of a cube with 8 corners, and they learned each of the terms, and they learned the ideas that for us to be able to change our community, when we move one thing, something else may be affected. And at the end of the day, to do science, to do the future of analytics, it's predicated on a natural system. So we wanted them to really embed themselves in how natural systems work and how this cultural proposition between our physical environment and our value system competes with each other in terms of the environment makes us and we make the environment. And we do that through projects. So if we can go to the next slide, William. So what we've done is we've been working on a project in Watts, California, and we have 21 different interventions in the community, and they're here on the right-hand side. And what we wanted to show very clearly is that of the 15 CTEs, career technical education pathways, they're connected to each of these different types of projects, and all these 21 projects are connected to something called the carbon footprint, the energy sustainability narrative. So building a workforce into the future that actually understands this interconnectedness and interdependency. It doesn't matter what career pathway they choose. So these tools that they were exposed to, these data processes that they've learned how to manipulate and master, they can carry those into any one of these career pathways because these tools are used across all of these career pathways. Go to the last one. One more slide. William, you can go to the next slide.
I did.
Yeah, so, oh, thank you. So this is just a timeline that goes from left to right, where they started with the ArcGIS. They started by building a spatial map of the 18th and Vine area. They learned how to sort out the data. Then we moved that information up to a 3-dimensional type of environment. We use SketchUp. They're going to show you what they did with SketchUp. But the idea is that cities now will be able to use data modeling to do what if scenario. And a lot of these cities that have these kind of spaces that are not fully utilized can now transform their spaces, not just hermetically with a group of architects coming in and showing them what about this, what about this. The idea of VCAP is the community, the students themselves can build those simulations. They can build those environments. So this is a map of Los Angeles that we've migrated these 3-dimensional models, and eventually we can take those inside of interactive game engine. So all of the students that worked on the project play video games. Everybody under 20 plays video games. People over 20 play video games. And video game and gaming technology is a what if scenario. And so what we're saying is that cities are in this transformational model, and they're going to be able to move the data from one point, 2-dimensional geospatial mapping, all the way to an interactive what if scenario. So I know we want to get to the red tails and leave them plenty of time. So thank you very much, William, and I agree. William and Mr. Lupino did a great job, and I was happy to help where I could.
Well, we're glad that you did. And I'm again, Michael, I know the kids think very highly of you. I can't call them kids, it's young people, right? Because we have college students, high school, middle school, and under the tutelage and leadership of our program director, Miss Jaleesa Davis. I think it's time for you guys. Are you guys ready, Miss Davis?
We are ready.
Okay, I have to give the disclaimer. Again, this is being recorded. Streamed live on Facebook, and the best of you know, we make sure that the important plans and actions covered by this report are the result of under the guidance of UNAP, professional studio and team, and that we do not respect by license, design, professional, as defined in regular. So, with all of that,
facilitators of the workshops that channeled a wealth of community input to the Red Tails will summarize some of the key learning from group discussions they facilitated. A very large group of community members co-planned the workshops, and this endeavor was fortunate to have these facilitators in that group and at the center of the implementation of that planning. They are Kay Marie Brown, Lori Smith, Kim Randolph, and Anita Davis. And I believe Ms. Brown will lead off this segment. Ms. Brown,
You're
available?
muted. You're muted.
Oh, look at there. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, I'm Kay Marie Brown. Good evening, everyone. I'm a local resident, business owner, community servant, and mother. The group that I facilitated was the resident and youth group, the neighborhood group, whose participants came from a variety of backgrounds in relation to the levels of education, income, community involvement, family size, just to name a few of the differences. Some of them currently live in the area and others they grew up in the area. Yet all of them were interested in seeing positive change happen in the community. The interesting group of residents allowed for myself and the note takers to ask pre-prepared questions and allowed us to have an in-depth and candid conversation about those questions, where we gained a lot of feedback, suggestions, and some history to share with the Red Tails youth group for their presentation today and for the decision makers in our community. Throughout the workshops, I think we may have had a total of about 60 participants. I didn't count, so that number, give or take. 60 participants throughout the workshop. There was a lot of concern for the education of our youth, academically and socially was one of the focal points, along with gentrification and displacements of long-term and current residents. Also, tax rates and tax utilization in regards to the infrastructure and growth within the area of discussion. Throughout the workshops, it was apparent that there's a lack of effective communication between the different sectors and the different groups that participated. So that will be the residents, the business owners, the developers, and even the government sectors. The residents, it was spoken to that they want to be informed about proposed current or future development and planning in the area on a continuous basis, of which this workshop, we have actually accomplished that. They have played a major role in getting us to this point with the Red Tails. So with that, you know, I think, I don't know if I had a lot of expectations, because a lot of what you hear around the city, when you have these type of community discussions, you hear a lot of the same things. But interestingly enough, it was a lot of pragmatic feedback. I heard a lot of new ideas, and I'm happy to see what the Red Tails will do with that this evening. And it's my hope that the action, the time, and the thought that has been given to this project, that it truly proves to be a catalyst of change in our area. And just want to say thank you, William, Professor Lupino, to the Red Tails group, Melissa Robinson, for inviting me, you know, to participate in this opportunity.
And
Okay, Lori Smith.
Hello, my name is Lori Smith, and I am active still in Kansas City, Missouri. However, I moved to Denver, Colorado. And if I cut out, I'm sorry, it's starting to rain. I'm in the mountains. And so what I've learned from the seniors, they need transportation. They're missing transportation. They're lacking safety. And that's the key to their importance, is just being safe and understanding that, You know, they need transportation. They don't have available grocery stores. And with the cutbacks, I'm in Kansas City as far as with anybody in transportation, it's affecting them dearly. And I feel that the Red Tails are stepping up and doing what needs to be done within the community. And it's been an honor to see young people doing stuff that is successful that can make a change and a difference within the Kansas City, Missouri area, because change is needed within the community. And I give a shout out to Dr. Lupino and Mr. Wells for stepping up and being those individuals to help guide these young people into a future that can make a difference, because that's what we need within our communities today.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Ms. Kim Randolph.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being on. We appreciate you attending. These young people have worked very hard to put this together. I represented the businesses and opportunities for businesses in the community. The biggest concerns at that time, or at this time, is how do we attract and bring businesses to the district? And then if we do get them there, how do we retain them? Some of the suggestions that we received is that we freeze some property taxes for local business, encourage interactions, cross-pollination among a local business, and publicly increase activity around the area, use collaboration among businesses, nonprofit organizations, faith communities, government, and education. And they were finding that it was they had a difficult time with startups. So, you know, how do we help make the district a place where startups could come in and actually develop maybe like an incubator program? They said they needed more places for people to work. Of course, employment was very important. Corporations and small businesses to develop those opportunities. And finally, concerns about it, the Employment Council. So we want to make sure that in my questioning and the conversations that we were having were having employment or having a council to make sure that we are creating jobs there. Some of the things that we also talked about were lack of businesses. What type of businesses did we see or not see in the district that would be relevant? And some of them were coffee shops, pharmacies, living centers, farmers market, youth centers, hotels. Of course, they did say hotels, daycares. Those were all things that overwhelmingly we got those types of questions or those types of suggestions. And then there were several questions that were asked in a survey that we did. And I found it interesting how overwhelmingly some of these answers came back. So one of the questions was, would you like to see monthly festivals in the area? And I know we have First Fridays, but overwhelmingly like 83% of the participants said yes. There was, would you like to see an outdoor gathering spot for seniors? And that was interesting because under business, it had 100% of those businesses wanted to provide that. And then would you like to be able to order food from restaurants through DoorDash? Another pretty big percentage, 66% said yes. And then finally, would you like to see 18th and Vine become a no drive-through zone? And that was kind of interesting because that pie kind of broke up in several ways, but it still had an overwhelmingly positive response. So I'm very interested also as the other facilitators to see exactly what our Red Tails came up with. We're all going to be surprised tonight. And again, I want to thank Tony Lupino and William Wells for the hard work you did. And then also the UMKC students that that took notes. I mean, this was really a good a good survey, and a good workshop. So again, thank you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Randolph. And next we have Ms. Anita Davis.
Good evening. I'm Anita Davis, and I facilitated the Real Estate Developers Workshop. And overall, over the series of workshops, it was very well organized, it was well received, and a lot of good coordination and collaboration. There was a really good mixture of certainly real estate developers, other organizations, community organizations, and nonprofits that were interested in the different types of development opportunities, as well as community residents. And all of them were very engaged and interested and had a personal investment in what happens to the community, very concerned about the community. And so there was a robust discussion, first of all, about a variety of different uses, goods and services that were needed in the area. And there was a lot of consensus between the real estate developers as well as community residents on the fact that there needs to be a lot of different things, and kind of what the last facilitator mentioned, that there should be coffee shops, there should be things for families, there should be things for children, as well as our seniors, so that there are an array of activities and services. There was also a concern about affordability and maintaining affordable housing. And there was a consistent theme and a concern around access to capital, that there is equity in an investment stake and equity in opportunities created in the project, and that there are entrepreneurship opportunities, whether that is in terms of actually developing, if that is in business ownership, or other sorts of entrepreneurial opportunities that could be created in that area. There was also a lot of emphasis on having access to education, workforce development, as well as healthcare. And when it came to talking about opening up the area or closing it down for events, that was well received. There was general consensus that there should be some time that there could be a closure to allow for more walkability, more event promotion. Certainly supporting and marketing local businesses was a great concern, but there was also from the developer side an emphasis on parking, that parking could be a challenge and that there needs to be some keen attention in planning when it came to parking. So overall, again, I also want to say thank you to Professor Lapino and William Wells for the opportunity to help to participate in this important conversation, and I look forward to the Red Tails presentation.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And for all four of our facilitators, Ms. Davis, Mrs. Smith, Ms. Randolph, MySpace and Facebook and TikTok. I gotta say it again, right? I'm thinking myself, right? Well, okay, so there's no MySpace. My bad. Okay. So anyway, you're gonna either spend your time on social media, on your computer, or some of you are gonna say, this is a tool. And we are in a global economy, a knowledge and information-based economy, and this tool, I can make some money with, right? But it's a choice. We're gonna have a choice of what we do, so that's what we're gonna talk about. Next slide. So this is our organization. It started here with the K-12 education program, and the first cohort of students are now employed. One of them is the right hand to the CEO of U-Haul International. He's over the conversion of all of their vehicles from gas to electric. He's from Kansas City. Nesby Junior chapter, we go from the STEAM Village to Nesby Junior K-12 to our 18 and up. And we also have a TV channel. You can go to Roku, Apple TV, you can see our TV channel. Google for STEAM Village TV. Next slide. That's a little bit about us. Now we're gonna get in and talk about y'all. This is my favorite picture, right? Literally, this is your first 12 years of your life. I mean, your first 12 years of your education. Everybody's telling you what to do, what to learn, how to learn it, where to learn it, and giving you an A, B, C, D, right? Right? But now, you got this same bridge, but you're going this bridge of adults. So I ask you to ask your question. What is your choice? Will you dare to be different and dare to be great? Or will you go down the road of average and mediocrity? That's a choice you all have to make. Next slide. Education. We're going to redefine education right now. Did y'all know Dr. King made this quote? Repeat after me. The function of education, is to teach one to think intensively, and to think critically, intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Have you all heard that before? Yes. Is it reflected in your diploma? Is it reflected in your grades? Probably. I say it is, right? Because that's you, that's your heart, and that's who you are, right? So I'm gonna ask you all to dream big and dare to be different and dare to be great. Next slide. Our program believes that we can disrupt poverty through education. And we believe that, and we've proved that. Those young people I told you making $31 an hour, that is each of you all, right? You're gonna have to go to college. Wouldn't it be great to finish college without a bunch of bills and a bunch of debts, right? Wouldn't it be great to finish college and maybe even have a business like Tony, that one I told you, left and started a business, 2 or 3, first 2 failed, but he didn't stop, right? Wow, people calling me on my phone, sorry. Okay, next slide. Let's go on. So you're gonna actually get a laptop. You're gonna get an IT certification called a digital literacy certification, and it's gonna be the beginning. It's gonna be the beginning of a pathway that can lead you into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pathways: information security, networking, cloud, IT service management, software development, and training. Now, before I go any further, let me ask you all a question. Raise your hand high if you've heard of the Society of Women Engineers. Boom, beautiful. 4. We're four better than we were this morning. Raise your hand high if you have heard of the Society of Hispanic Engineers. Beautiful. We've got more. Okay, raise your hand if you have heard of the National Society of Black Engineers. Perfect. 4. What do you know about those programs I just told you about?
Well, I know most of the time they're from minorities, of course, and it makes the society a lot easier and better because not a lot of people actually go into those types of programs. It's not it wasn't offered in the beginning.
It wasn't offered. Let me tell you all something. Take your pencil, write down Society of Women Engineers if you're a woman, and if you're a male or a woman, write down the Society of Hispanic Engineers and write down the National Society of Black Engineers and Google those. And here's why. Y'all see that? What does that mean? Money. Money. That young man I told you about, he left Kansas City with $30,000 in scholarship money because of NSBE. Every year, NSBE has a conference where they have a college fair that's giving away scholarships to juniors and seniors, and they have a career fair, and they're hiring, I tell you, juniors, sophomores, juniors, and seniors in college go to this convention and they get hired by Northrop Grumman, Microsoft, Boeing. You need to look at this, okay? I'm sorry that most of you haven't heard it, but I'm telling you, that's a resource for your money to fund your college. Fortune 1, Fortune 500 companies pour millions of dollars into NSBE, SWE, Society of Women Engineers, Society of Hispanic Engineers, to get scholarships to rooms like this, okay? Next slide. Well, no, go back. All right, one more, forward. No, there we go. So, what you're gonna do is IC3GS6, and it is basically preschool. Once you get these certifications, you're gonna get a laptop. You do not have, it's not rocket science. You guys know all of this stuff. I've gotta give you a pacing guide for 4 weeks. I've seen it done in a week, okay? So, but I wanna point this out. When you finish this, you can take any one of these courses, and I'm gonna do this. The first one of these courses in the beginner on any one of these pathways, information security, network, cloud, IT service management, is a CompTIA A+ certification. It is an industry recognized certification, recognized globally by Microsoft, Google, Tesla, everybody. If you complete the IC3GS6, and when you get your laptop, you can make a request. I would like to have the A+ 101, A+ 102 courses. We will give you those courses, no charge. You're probably gonna look at it on your syllabus and they're gonna charge you at college. We're gonna give you a heads up, okay? A step up. Next slide. Now, brain sports, 100% of the players will go pro. This is a job, career, business. There's a job, career, and business out there for you. You guys see these career technical educations. We're not a school, right? But what you do see, agriculture, arts, media, entertainment, building construction, fashion, interior design, health science, medical technology, hospitality, tourism. Can we go back a slide, one slide? All of this stuff, back, is at the foundation of all of these CTEs. So what we're doing is giving you a tool, the computer, and we're giving you the curriculum, the certification to put you on a path so that you can make that choice. Okay, next slide. Another note I want you to take down, Justice 40. Justice 40. Justice 40 initiative. How many of you, raise your hand if you've heard about the $1 billion infrastructure bill? One person. 2 people, you've heard about it, right? This means that 40% of that $1 billion infrastructure has to go into underserved communities and tribal lands. And guess what? It's not happening because, guess what? We're not standing up projects. What we're hoping that you will end up doing is looking at things, learning, researching, and saying stand-up projects, because that money that us people 60 and older are talking about and policing about, that's your money. Now, it's gonna be up to y'all to make the decision. Are you gonna stay on social media? Are you gonna learn more, dig deeper, and go and find it, right? All right, next slide. Now, let's get into the certification. IC3GS6, Office 2016. This is what your learning system's gonna look like. There are 30 lessons total. That's only 24 hours of content. 24 hours of content. You have your content, you have your resources, you have your bookmarks, you have your glossary, my activity, and I made it even different. I made it even easier for you. I took all of the resource books and put it in a folder called Week 1. All of the resource books for the second one, put it in Week 3. So all of the answers are there. But again, you have a choice, right? That choice is, I can take the answers, not learn anything, answer the questions, get my laptop. That's a possibility. One day I'll probably be pulling up to McDonald's and say I'd like a quarter pounder of cheese. And you'd be like, yo, Mr. Wells, you didn't study, you didn't do it, right? Or you can take that laptop, you can take this free curriculum, you can take the A+, and you can say, you know what? I don't wanna be working when I'm 40 or 45. And I know that they need somebody to fix these kiosks that are replacing these cashiers. That can be me. Or if I'm gonna design clothes, that can be me. But getting this digital literacy is your foundation. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, next slide. Let's dive into it. There's only 3 modules. Computer fundamentals. Raise your hand if you've used a computer. That means y'all have already gotten all of this lift, right? It's one thing to use something, it's another thing to use something and master it, right? Like, I don't work on cars, but I drive cars. So when my car breaks, what do I have to do? Get broke. I had to reach in my pocket as a consumer and pay somebody who said, you know what, I like cars, I'm gonna learn cars, I'm gonna master cars so I can fix your car, right? So it's the same thing. So we have computer fundamentals, key applications, and living online. Next slide. Key applications, computer fundamentals, there's only 10 lessons. As you complete a lesson, it will tell you what your percentage is. I'm sorry, I mean to be in your way. Tell you what your percentage is. There's a pre-assessment. Take the pre-assessment once and keep it moving. Take the pre-assessment one time. If you got 100 or 10, doesn't matter. Just take it once. But do the tutorials. If there's a lab, do the labs, okay? Take 24 hours of your time and do the work, master it, because if you master this first step, everything else is gonna come easy to you, okay? So that's the computing fundamentals. Next slide. Key applications. Word processing. Can somebody tell me what is the word processing? What application do we use for word processing?
Word.
Word. There we go. Spreadsheets. What application we use for spreadsheets?
Excel.
Yes. What do we use for databases?
Sheets.
Excel. Excel, right? People don't realize that Excel is at the core of a lot of your databases, a lot of the video games, at the core of it is the Excel spreadsheet. So do I use Excel just to log my inventory, or can I use Excel and use the formulas, do calculations, put my own AI to it? That's why you need to learn and master this. Presentations, what do we use for presentations? PowerPoint, okay. App culture, next slide. Living online. Now, internet navigation, functionality, email clients, Calendly. How many of you in here use a calendar? Y'all on time. So y'all on time everywhere you go? For the most part. Use your calendar. Every phone has one. Every smartwatch has one. Every computer has one, especially if you use an email client. That will help you do what? Somebody help me out. Time management and organize your what? Organize your life, right? Makes it easier. Now, again, pre-assessment, we're gonna take it how many times? All right. Then you have a post-assessment. The post-assessment, you can take as many times as you need to take it, right? You get 80% on your post-assessment, you get a certificate. If you get 90% or higher, you get a certificate and a badge. Is that certificate that you get industry recognized? No, it is not. You would have to go and get another test, take another exam, which we give because we are a CompTIA education academic partner. So we can give you an industry certification that you can take the test, pass the test, get your certificate, and then go to Microsoft and say, here's my certificate. I'm ready to work, okay? Next slide. This is what the certificate looks like. You will have 3 of them that go in your portfolio, in your resume, and your scholarship application. GS level 1, next slide. Level 2, next slide. Level 3, next slide. So, pacing guide. Again, I broke this into 4 weeks. Week 1, you should be able to knock out computer fundamentals. Take your key applications assessment, 80% or higher, 90% or higher, earn certificate and badge, 80% earn certificate. Next slide. Week 2, key applications. There's what we're going for. Take it one time, pass with 80% or higher. Next slide. Week 3, same thing. Now, at week 3, you'll see I say submit and order laptop pickup between July 15th and 26th. And August 5th and August 16th. The reason there's a gap between the 27th and the 4th is because we're out of town on the East Coast, okay? But Just because you submitted your order and you scheduled your laptop pickup for July 26th, we're gonna log it. If July 26th comes and you have not, next slide, finish that. You don't get the laptop. But look at what this is. When to email, when to text, when not to text, when to instant message, phone, and VoIP. Anybody know what VoIP is? My man. All right, you going to UMKC? School of Engineering? All right, no, that's right. Good, we got you there. Online conferencing, remote computing. You have your workbooks, you have your labs, but this is your moneymaker right here, y'all. This last one is your moneymaker. I do not care how many certifications, how many degrees, BS, PhD, if you don't master this, life's gonna be hard. And all this is just like being a good person, good people, respecting others. Things that y'all see on TV that they don't show us that we do, right? Digital principles, ethics, skills, and citizenship. Easy peasy. Order your computer, knock that out. Next slide. All right, everybody get your phone out, take this picture. You're gonna get these slides. We set up a classroom, Microsoft Teams. You're familiar with Microsoft Teams. You will have a Microsoft Teams classroom. You will log into the Microsoft Teams classroom and you will be able to get to your account. Next slide. Next slide. No, let me go to the internet. Can you see all these?
Did everybody get a picture?
No. Oh, they didn't get a picture. My bad.
Everybody.
I'm sorry. Y'all, my ADD just kicked in. Y'all want to know what happened? Let me get out the way.
Thank you. You are late.
You're struggling to get it in the front. It's on the side.
On the side, well, and in the back.
Look, I forgot you could do that.
And you'll get this packet. You'll have this packet. But I just wanted to tell you, you'll be able to log in. This will log you into your team's classroom at any time. And you'll also have a direct link. Okay? Cool? Are y'all excited about this?
Yeah.
You serious? Yo. It's funny. I didn't get my first computer until my freshman year in college. That was about 3 months after the Lord's Supper. No, just play. Let me go to the website. Everybody got a picture? I want to show you the learning platform real quick. Is that cool? And then we get out. See? Look at that. What time is it? 8 minutes till. Ah, my bad. I know. He looking at me like, yo, I said 6:15. All right. So this is our website. I'm going to take you to where your learning platform is. We built out a virtual twin of Kansas City. When? And you're going to go into the education and discovery lobby. This will be a hot link. You won't have to go through all of this. We'll go into Innovation Hub. Nope, I'm in the wrong place. I'm sorry. I'm in this one. This is our IT skill trade certification part. You see this right here? It says IC3 GS6 digital literacy certification. You're going to click on that door. And that door, right now, it's going to take you to our website, but it's going to take you to here. And you'll log in. You'll get a username. All of your usernames will be your first initial, last name, at stemcitykc.net. Write that part down, at stemcity, at stemkc.net, because you'll log into all of the passwords will be your first initial, last name, and that domain. Yes, STEM, STEM, KC.net. Pardon me? Oh yeah, you want to put it on the, here. See, when you have tech skills, you can just say, let me just add it here.
Mr. This is like Obiano's gonna write it.
Got it? Blow it up? Yeah.
And you can stand on the side and the back as well. And you said that was our first initial and our last name?
First initial last name. You're gonna get your actual login because some of you have like, you know, if you have Brian Harris, it's probably Dr. Harris and then Br Harris. All right. Can I go on?
Everybody got it?
Everybody got it?
Yeah. And we'll email everything to you. First initial.
Classes. What am I doing? I gotta be smarter than the average bear. I'm up here typing blind, y'all, for real. I'm in reader denial. I don't like to wear readers. I can see stuff far away, but I can't see stuff up close. All right, there we go. All right, so you're gonna log in and you're gonna hit start. Esau, you wanna hit start for me? Hit start. This is what the learning management system looks like. You'll see you have your, it'll tell you how far you are. And we have 3 minutes. Let's take a quick test. For y'all. Yeah. Let's do a quick pre-assessment with them. There we go. It won't let me do it there. Yeah, it will. All right. I don't have any gift cards. You all usually have gift cards. Y'all got $25, $50, $75 gift cards to give away if they get the question. Oh, I'm trying.
That's not us.
Go ahead and start.
We got movies.
All right. All right, which is used to make sure a user can surf the internet without the browser remembering cookies, keeping a browser history, or storing anything in the cache.
Private
window? Raise your hand if you think it's sleep mode. No. Raise your hand if you think it's a screensaver. No. Raise your hand if you think it's private mode. Y'all remember that slide? All the people going left, and that one going right? Raise your hand if you think it's antivirus software. Man, a whole bunch of people abstaining. What's the answer? Yeah, the next. Oh, she didn't tell us. Which is one possible disadvantage of using wireless networks versus a wired network? What is a disadvantage of using a wireless network versus a wired network? More cost? Raise your hand. 1. Less security? Raise your hand. All right. More hardware? Raise your hand. Less maneuverability? Okay. All right. So hold on a second. A disadvantage of using wireless. So if it's wireless, is it mobile? If it's wireless, is it mobile? Yeah. So if it's wireless and if it's mobile, how can it be less maneuverability? So we can eliminate that, right? More hardware. How do I know if it's hardware? I had to read the manual and do the work, didn't I? Okay. But yeah, it is less secure. It's less secure. We'll do one more. That's how we did earlier. Hey. 559. All right, what are the 3 basic power options on a Windows 8 machine?
Ooh.
All right, sleep. Sleep, raise your hand if it's sleep. Raise your hand if it's restart. Raise your hand if you're shut down.
So we picked 3.
Which one
following? Right?
Which are 3? So we gotta pick 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a good point. How many of you, raise your hand, how many of you play video games? All right. Me too. I play Madden all the time. So here's the thing. Education versus gaming. Digital education, online test taking, right? You all heard of a word or term called computational thinking? You have? Tell me, what is it?
Isn't computational thinking like breaking down a problem?
It's breaking down a problem, but in order to break down the problem, you have to understand the problem, right? Right? So that is, man, if you take a test, a lot of people take tests. There's a lot of super brilliant people that show as D students because they take their tests as if they're playing a video game. Think about it. When we play a video game, we react to what we see on the screen. No, we call ourselves having strategy and doing this, but we're reacting. And a lot of people do that. So when you computationally think on a test, you're gonna read the question, process the question, read it again, then answer it. You're responding versus reacting. If I'm playing a video game, I'm reacting. If I'm taking a test, I need to be thinking. If I'm thinking, critically thinking, remember Dr. King's education, I'm responding. You respond strategically, not emotionally. Make sense? Yes, ma'am.
So question about the question, right? So I was writing it down because I was trying to visualize the shutdown screen. So couldn't it either be restart or reboot because they do the same thing?
Good question.
What are the options? I can't see him.
Okay, sleep, restart,
and
shut down, reboot.
Okay, and what's the question?
So since y'all are no longer in high school, I can tell y'all that in high school, first paragraph, summary, and then I would say, well, that's that. 3 of these things are alike and 1 of them ain't.
No, see. Here's the thing, though. I'm scared.
That's called breaking down a problem computationally without even knowing the real answer.
Yeah. But I feel like restart and reboot can't be this because they're technically the same thing. I think reboot might be the odd one out.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a good point.
Yeah, sleep is the one where you just let it go. It's not fully off, but it's in rest mode.
It's in rest mode, so it's not off, right?
Exactly.
And he said, which one is not a power mode?
Which one is not one of the basic power options? Like when you hold down the power button, there's 3 options.
Reboot.
Yeah.
Because restart sleep and shut off.
Hit that. I'll post in the team's chat the answer. All right, let's exit.
Hey, this is a Windows 8 computer. Just hit the thing.
Grade and exit or just save and exit?
Save and exit, because I want to give them that answer. Because if you grade it, it's going to say 38 questions. It's going to give us a big old Christmas tree. You ever got a paperback and you had so many check marks and it looked like a Christmas tree? Christmas tree. All right, that's all I have. Every Tuesday. I'm probably going to come back next Tuesday because there's a couple of really. Can I show one video?
No.
Can I show one video?
He is going to go to
Please. For him.
Send it to him. No. We gotta go. We gotta go.
You're not gonna bill me for not being 45 minutes? I was supposed to do 45 minutes. We're gone. I'll show y'all the video next week.
But wait a minute, we want to make sure that it's crystal clear that you're going to send me username, passwords, the pacing guide. Now, I wanted to have a pacing guide to make sure that everybody's successful. You know, you have each week and what you need to do. But if you can knock it out in a week, 2 weeks, that's on you. You can knock it out in 1 day, and that's what you're going to do,
that's fine. But I
Hey.
just want to make sure you have that pacing guide so that you can be successful no matter what. So Mr. Wells will send me your username, password, pacing guide, all that information. You can also, as you said this morning, there's a place in the platform where you can type questions, but
24/7,
also
365.
24/7, but also Mr. Wells will give us information that if there's something, the system kicks you out, if you're having technical issues or just a question, that 24/7 you can have support in that. So I will be sending everything to you. Make sure you look for your emails. I'll also be sending information about, I said, our Worlds of Fun tickets, which are next week. Summer You Fun. Today you'll get movie ticket packet, but next week is Worlds of Fun. Make sure that you answer. I'll do a quick little Google survey to see what dates you're interested in, because we want to make sure that you use that ticket packet for Worlds of Fun and have a good time. So I will be sending out probably in the next couple days. I'll get the information hopefully from you tomorrow, and then I'll start sending everything out.
Do anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Do anybody have any questions for me?
So wait, for this entire information, don't we need a computer to do this, or like?
That's a good question.
Hey,
Hey, no, look, Miss Lisa, he said, do we need a computer to do this? He's like, well, how am I supposed to do it if I don't have a computer?
So rude. Yeah, thank you. Between 11 and 1 on Tuesdays, we will have computers for you if you want to come here and if you want to do a study hall.
You see that?
Can you do it on your phone, Mr. Wells?
too, right?
You can do it on your phone as well.
You can answer the questions, you can watch the videos on your phone, but you cannot do the labs on your phone.
So that's where you can come, okay. So
And there's
11 to 1 on
always
Tuesday.
a library.
Okay, but you're
Well,
saying
the
that
point
you
in
need a
getting a free
computer as well?
laptop, when you don't have a laptop, is so that you will have a laptop.
Yeah.
So 11 to 1,
We'll get it
we'll have
together.
laptops.
We'll work it out.
From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Oh,
Every
so-
Tuesday.
Any more questions?
Yes, Tuesday. So that's.
Are y'all good?
Of course.
I promise you this. I promise you this. If you knock out the IC3 and you request the 101 and the 1002 and you do this, you'll be able to write your own tickets. I guarantee you that. Whatever it is you want to do, I can pull up those CTEs and I can tell you. And I'll be here for 4 weeks, so just letting you know. All right? Thank you all for having me. See you, sir.